Welcome back to the Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure, where we today explore a little bit on the third day of Chapter 3. Okay. The second division and CGF are looking into how World Wales managed to get its grubby paws on Gnosis. Reopening the Transcontinental Railroad takes some of the pressure off, luckily. As for those stray bracers, feel free to stop by and poke around at the guild if your work starts winding down. It sounds like Copper and Zide are both excited for hot pot tonight. Huh? But I thought cats couldn't handle hot food. The same goes for canines as far as I'm aware. Wouldn't they end up burning their tongues? Not to worry, it's nothing that a low energy icicle edge cannot fix. Woof. Kia's holding down the fort today, so we don't need to feed him. Made sure to buy a whole bunch of ingredients yesterday. Now I don't have to go shopping in the rain. A smart move, Kia. We can use those extra ingredients for today's hot pot, so be a good girl and watch over the place for us until then. You got it, Lloyd. Come on safe, okay? Okay. People keep saying that a demon was behind the train derailment yesterday. The real question is, what my blue Gehenna does that mean? A demon could just be about anything. What, do they think someone turned into a monster or something? Either way, it sounds like bad news to me. He's closer than he realizes. Still no access to the A sector. It took them just one night to repair the Transcontinental Railroad. I couldn't be more thrilled about it. Now I don't have to miss a single blissful day of no-holds-barred train spotting. All the words in the world wouldn't be enough to express my gratitude to the CGF for working those extra hours. No business here. Here neither. Hey Mimi, look at that. Mr. Snail slithering on that handrail. He's been going back and forth for a while now. Hey, you're right. Maybe he's lost? Sateo seems to be lost in his own little world today. I remember when I was a novice chef like him, the only way to find the answers he's searching for is honest self-reflection. Hopefully this competition will help him develop as a culinary professional. The Civic Center's been hosting an open forum on our independence since this morning. I already feel knowledgeable about the pros and cons of the matter, but maybe I'll go watch for a bit anyway. Damn it, I'm gonna die of old age before I figure out what I want to make. Gotta hurry and figure out what kind of sauce to use for my pasta. Should I go with a tomato or cream base? Or maybe something totally out of the box? When would I even begin with inventing a new type of sauce? I've never been so aware of my shortcomings as a chef. No point in venturing on the highway with weather like this. We'll just go shopping in the city instead. Why did it have to start pouring on the day we were going to go sightsee outside this town? Wayne, go away! We're on vacation some other day! Nono and Sateo's showdown is fast approaching. They both seem to be taking it seriously. As long as that stays the case, I'm more than happy with them. Sateo's been given some serious thought to the dish he's prepping for our big showdown. As for me, I'm planning on serving the dishes I'm most familiar with making. Carbonara is my specialty as far as pasta goes. I make it for my family all the time. The way I see it, I'm more likely to win if a dish I'm serving is something I really know intimately. I'm running an errand for my mom today. A roof sprung a leak, so he wanted me to rush out and buy a few buckets. We wouldn't have to pay taxes to Erebonia and Calvert anymore if we became independent. Consequently, Crossbir's economy would grow even faster than it already has been. That's as important a factor as any to me. Chaco's father came in for a job interview yesterday. He's so concerned about his daughter's well-being that he wanted to take up a position here. Sadly, he doesn't meet our minimum requirements, so I had to reject his application. Clearly the manager doesn't have a daughter of his own, otherwise he would have seen exactly where I'm coming from. Fine, if you won't hire me, then I just have to continue guarding Chaco as a customer, the way I've been. Have you seen the way Chaco's dad always hovers over her while she's at work? I'm sure he means well, but I wish he'd take her feelings into account and give her some space. I didn't realize my dad came here to interview for a job yesterday. What was he thinking? Of course he was gonna get rejected. He doesn't know the first thing about engineering. It's like he's trying to make it his life's mission to embarrass me. I heard that all the damage from yesterday's train accident has already been repaired. It's incredible how efficiently the Guardian Force manages to get incidents like these sorted out. Yeah, if the Guardian Force is allowed to work, they can be highly efficient. I ran out of pastries at home, so I rushed over here to restock as fast as I could. How could I make such an amateur mistake? Some pastry lover I am. Oh, please. Some victims of a train accident came out severely injured, but luckily enough there were no fatalities. Apparently St. Ursula's doctors worked through the night treating them all. How could he not look up to them? We managed to get the railroad up and running again by the time morning rolled around. Thanks to that, my usual deliveries arrived on time. God has blessed every one of those Guardian Force angels who busted their butts last night. Scott told me he'd be busy with an important job today, so he probably won't be able to keep in touch. I'm not worried though. Signing up to be a wife of a bracer means I have to be ready for days like these. I know I don't have to worry about Scott, but I still hope he's careful out there. I don't know what I'd do if he got hurt. Pearl and Scott were already very close long before they started dating. I think it's lovely that she's fortunate enough to marry a childhood friend. Welcome, SSS, and thank you once again for choosing Times Department Store. Please accept this. Oh yeah, because it's raining, right? Thank you very much, Neston. Think nothing of it. It's merely our way of showing our appreciation for your loyal patronage. I hope you enjoy your time shopping with us today, ladies and gentlemen. I've been given to understand that yesterday's derailment was caused by a demonic monster of some sort. Ghastlier still are the rumors that have been spreading about, giant mysterious creatures emerging throughout the state. One can't help but wonder if they might be connected somehow. Independence this, independence that, all the stupid adults won't shut up about it. It's like, what the heck are they even talking about, you know? What I hear, if we go independent, we won't have to pay taxes to Erbonia and Calvert anymore. But who cares about that junk? If a hunk like Mayor Croix thinks we should do it, then what do we even need to vote for? All I used to care about was business, but now that I have Janetta, it's as if I see the whole world in a new light. What could be happening to me? Is this what I call happiness? No amount of rain is gonna make my mom wanna shop any less. The weather's not so bad today, but I end up totally soaked when she brings me with her while it's pouring. I heard it's going to stop raining in the afternoon. If we're lucky, we'll end up seeing a rainbow. When I heard the rails had been shut down yesterday, I feared for how it would affect my store. But thanks to the efforts of across the station staff and the CGF, service has resumed as usual today. Consequently, my morning delivery arrived on time. I couldn't be more grateful for all the work it took to make it possible. The news about the train accident was terrifying, but thank goodness they already fixed it. Imagine the horrors of the stores he had to close because they weren't getting their deliveries. Tomorrow night's the debut of Archon's revival production of Golden Sun Silver Moon, and Southwark and I made a date to go see it together. I can't wait. People kept saying some sort of demonic monster derailed the train. It's absolutely absurd. I've never heard something so outlandish in my entire life. The prevailing rumor is that yesterday's train derailment was caused by a cryptid. But exactly what in Adios' name is a cryptid? I feel like I'm seeing fewer and fewer smiles on my customers' faces lately. It's not really a surprise considering yesterday's accident, not to mention everything else going on in the Morea, but I'd at least like for people to be able to forget about their troubles while shopping here. Almost so late. Can't you hurry up and finish our stupid errands already? Darn it, I've barely stepped outside, my shoes are already soaked. This is why I hate the rain. I need to finish these errands up so I can get myself home already. Rio invited us to hang out at the plaza in front of the tower this morning. I can't believe he still wants to do this even though it's raining. Oh well, it would be rude to bail on Momo after asking her to come. All we can do now is sit tight and wait for her to finish up her errands. Dad worked himself to the bone after the derailment yesterday. The least I can do is give him some peace and quiet today. I used to be a real rascal growing up. I run around barefoot in the rain all the time. Really reminds me of how I was as a kid in that sense. But he'd still better be wearing shoes out there. Really reminds me of myself when I was a kid. It would explain why it's such a pain in my ear. Oh, I just remembered. Archon's revival production debuts tomorrow night. They sold out of tickets in the blink of an eye here. To think little Ilya would grow up to be such a celebrity. Little Ilya? Oh yeah, she and Cecile grew up together. I guess it's no wonder you knew her when she was young, Odiletya. That's right, Ilya shone like a star even then. She and Cecile were an unlikely pair, but they got along like peas and carrots. Why, one time Ilya even socked the boy who was bullying Cecile and made him cry. Ilya has always been this protective of her. Ouch, I bet she really let him have it. Kinda makes me feel bad for the kid. You know how boys are. Picking on a girl usually means they have a crush on them. I imagine it's more than worth it for him though, now that he can tell people he was knocked flat by the Ilya Platea's boy. I feel like I wouldn't want anyone to know about that. Ilya truly was a firecracker growing up, and now she's burning bright as a star of Archon Ciel instead. I can honestly say I've always been proud of her, even when she was just a little girl. Ben has always been the type to look out for others. Sure, she groans and complains whenever I ask for baking advice, but she still puts in the effort to teach me every time. I know it doesn't seem like it, but she really is a sweet girl if you get past the tough crust. Anyway, enough of it. You guys here to buy some bread or what? No better time for a fresh, fluffy loaf on a rainy day like this, am I right? Did your folks send you to buy some more bread again? Just be careful not to lose that umbrella, okay? Okay, I scribbled my name and address on it just in case. You did, huh? Good thinking, Momo. Oh, you have some really nice handwriting, did you know that? Really? Oh, I almost forget. Opening night of Archon Seal's new show is tomorrow. If only I could actually go. I'm dying to see how good their new star actress is. The bakery is always less busy on rainy days. Luckily, we have plenty of loyal customers who come no matter how bad the weather. I'm grateful for them. We must be doing something right to have stayed in business this long. It's definitely something to be grateful for. Maybe I should throw a customer appreciation day to thank them. I couldn't say either way, but people are claiming the train accident was caused by some unknown monster. I sure hope they're wrong. What would we do if it struck again? Armand has brought his new family back to Crustal. It's wonderful to know he's doing so well for himself. Oh, they're here. I see, so he was discharged from St. Ursula a few months ago? That's right, but unfortunately I've heard neither hide nor hair of him since. I'm sorry I don't have anything more to share, especially after all the time and effort he took coming out here. That's quite alright. What he told us has been more than helpful. Hasn't it, dear? Yes, Ellie. I'd say today was a win for all three of us. You are a happy little family if I've ever seen one. My goodness, but Armand certainly has grown. He's a sight more mature than that idiot father of his, that's for certain. Well, no sense in giving up the search now. We'll make a day trip to the hospital and check there then. I just know we're getting closer to finding him one step at a time. I can't quite explain why, but the sound of falling rain always puts me in a good mood. Evidently it helps with my work too. I've been making tremendous progress on these blueprints. Oh phooey, I had some shopping to do today at times too. I suppose I just have to bring an umbrella. The coffee beans and Legion's foods are to die for. I have them on my list for today's shopping. But I have to be extra careful so they don't get wet from all the rain. Otherwise the flavor will be ruined. Sally left at the crack of dawn today. She's looked so on edge lately too. I've been a little concerned about it. The pressure of a coming revival debut must be really weighing down on her. I've assembled all the files detailing yesterday's incident in America. If I leave it to Mr. Grimwald, who knows what important documents he'll lose in his mountain of paperwork. Again. I hear. I'm glad we were able to resolve that case, though. Thanks again for assisting us. I don't mention it. We assisted most of the heavy lifting. Ah, hello there, SSS. Hello, Mr. Grimwood. We wanted to thank you for your help yesterday. The evidence you found was exactly what we needed. So I gather, Pete already briefed me and I hear Minif is on the run now. I'd say the photo I provided was only one small piece of a puzzle, though. No need to sell yourself short. You put a final nail in Minif's coffin. You even went out of your way to assist us, but we are still so busy helping the mayor with the constitution. Indeed. Speaking of which, it's been coming together a bit slowly. I was actually thinking of taking a breather and brewing some coffee. Oh, should we come back later then? You want to take up your break? That's quite alright. I've been confined to my office for so long that enjoying conversation with all of you will be a nice change of pace. On that note, I was told you helped investigate the cause of yesterday's train derailment. That's right, we managed to get to the bottom of it. We have to spare you the details, but what we can share is that the cause was anything but natural. Was it now? Something wrong, Grizzly Grim? I was just thinking about how much of a relief it is that there were no fatalities. Nevertheless, I advise that you exercise caution out there. Goddess only knows how dangerous your jobs are right now. I'm slowly working my way through drafting this constitution, but there's still significant room for improvement. It's exhausting to write, but it's for the good of Crossbow's future, so I can hardly complain. Much the opposite, I won't settle for anything less than perfection. I heard they managed to restore service to the rails despite all the injuries that today's derailment caused. That's a small relief at least. Merchants like me rely on the trains quite a bit for supplies. I'm making beef stew for tonight's dinner, so I asked Momo to go out and buy us a baguette to go with it. I just hope she gets home soon. I was thinking about lazing around today, since I don't have cooking lessons. Oh, I know! I could experiment with stove-topped cookies I learned to make yesterday. Maybe I try mixing some chocolate chips with a batter this time around? I invite Granny for some cookies and tea once we're done. Henry's gone out to play even with his weather being the way it is. Now I'm not going to go around demanding that he stay inside on rainy days, but he better stay warm and dry at least. I don't want him catching a cold. Nothing dampens a good suit like a rainy day. The humidity is a surefire style killer. That's why I gotta make sure I keep my party threads pressed, dry, and looking fly. Raw. Harold is at Belgard Gate for a delivery, but I admit I'm a bit worried for him, with a giant monster that was reported along West Crossbow Highway yesterday. I don't think it's too likely that Walt will attack him. Look, there's a froggy stuck to the window. He looks kinda cute squirming like that. Locked again. Were you? Drat, my makeup's been running all day thanks to the stupid rain. I have to redo it again when I get inside. Again! We've seen more rain than usual this year. How am I supposed to drive a laundry like this? Yesterday's derailment came as a shock. There's been many a fiery dispute about whether it was caused by falling rocks or an enormous monster. I'm beginning to wonder the same thing myself. People have presented all manner of theories to what caused it, but which is true? Those three should be out because we had a quest. And they should be at this police station now. It's another rainy day in Crossbow. That of course will mean fewer people braving the highways to visit us. Over time, exposure to the elements will cause the inscriptions on the grave to wear away, bit by bit. That sadly leaves the legacies of their owners to be forgotten by most. As a gravekeeper, my job is to tend to the headstones and prevent that from happening. And even the old lady is not here today. I just knew something was off about yesterday from the moment I got out of bed. And I found out that the train had come clean off the rails. Fortunately, it didn't have any effect on my business, but still, how horrible. I'm told that yesterday's derailment on West Crossbow Highway was quite dreadful indeed. Praise be to ideas that no innocent lives were lost. The appraisers visited us earlier today in search of information. Two of their own, Linda and Aioli, have gone missing. Sadly, I have not seen them in the Cathedral as of late. I pray that no ill has befallen them. I hear there's a large monster spotted near the train derailment site yesterday. Would you all happen to know anything of note about that? Actually, we do. Let me briefly explain what happened when they went to investigate the train derailment the previous day. So, pleroma grass has started to appear in Nox Forest. And Gnosis has made a return as well. The most pressing matter is where he obtained it from. Or who, I should say. Have any ideas on your end? I'm afraid I don't. The church doesn't know anything more about the cult and Gnosis than it did before. As for pleroma grass, I'm still in the middle of researching what caused it to bloom, with no answers to speak of. Unfortunately, I'm the only member of a congregation of the sacraments here, so this may take a while. I figured it was the case. We can wait, Reese. If you make any breakthroughs, you know how to reach us. Of course. I'm still undercover, so I'm limited in how much I can do. That said, I'll contact you the moment I find any answers. Sister Athena is scheduled to teach Sunday school lessons in Amorica Village today. But as luck would have it, we seem to be in for pouring rain all across the state. I do hope she manages to keep dry. It's easy to slip on the floors inside on rainy days, so please be careful. That may be coming from personal experience, but it could happen to anyone. I'm glad we don't have Sunday schools today. If the children saw me sprawled out on my bottom, I would have lost the last bit of credibility I have. I have a fortune of witnessing Sister Juju fall straight on her backside just now. That got a laugh out of me. Oh, sweet Sister Juju. Will that girl ever overcome her clumsiness? Well, at least the bishop is having fun. Hey man, wanna play? Why don't you get yourselves out of the rain and into our nice warm casino? In a little over 24 hours, Archon seems to be opening its doors for its revival show. You know what that means. We'll be getting more guests soon too. I can't wait. We're expecting a big rush of guests after Archon's show tomorrow night. The Civic Center is hosting a public forum today. Might take a look for myself later. Keeping up with current events is important too. The referendum on Crossbow's independence is right around the corner. I could use more time to think it over myself. It isn't easy to decide what would be best for our future. Rain or shine, our doors are always open for a good time. You're more than welcome to take shelter here at the roulette table, if fortune favors you, that is. I I racked up losses after losses yesterday, but today is the start of my comeback story. Just you wait and see. Azure will be lifting the curtain on its revival production tomorrow. Supposedly they'll be debuting a new rising star to follow Risha Mao. Have a rumor swirling around that troupe never failed to entertain. Even the ice cream stand is gone? Now then, what bar should I hit up today? Rainy weather is a perfect excuse for day drinking. I'm gonna get hammered all by myself, and I'm gonna like it. One more day. At long last, the revival performance is tomorrow. It's a shame I won't get to see Lady Ilya death of the opening night's crowds. But just the fact that it's so close has me too excited to sleep. I bet the troupe is rehearsing their hearts out as we speak. Long live Archon's revival performance! Woohoo! If it isn't the special support section. I'm afraid you're closed for the day. Did you have some business with us? No, we're only stopping by on our rounds. I understand tomorrow night is the debut of your new show. Is the troupe taking the day to rest and relax? Indeed it is. There is, however, one performer who insisted on practicing today. Wow, they must really be devoted. Is it who I think it is? If you're referring to Sully, then yes. Tomorrow's going to be her day in the limelight, so to speak. Sully said that she kept her trip here a secret from Ilya, but evidently that wasn't enough to fool her. She's grown quite attached to the girl, the way she watches over her like a mother hawk. Alright. Yesterday's train schedule was disrupted by the derailment. Owing to that, many of our guests asked to extend their stays by an extra night. Fortunately, the trains are up and running again as of this morning. All of our formerly stranded guests should be safely on their way home now. It's off to the CGF's hard work. They say an unidentified monster was responsible for yesterday's derailment. A disconcerting claim, to be sure. Alias will be that this was an omen of what's to come. I shudder to think. There are no fatalities during yesterday's train accident, thank goodness, but a good many passengers still wound up injured. Some were in a serious condition too. Hopefully all the victims make a quick recovery. Many of our reservations were cancelled as a result of yesterday's accident. It goes to show how indispensable the Transcontinental Railroad is for this hotel. Thank goodness it wasn't beyond repair. Man, screw this rain. It's washing all my potential customers out of the streets. There was some big-ass accident yesterday too. Not my fault I can't pull anyone into the club. The whole world's conspiring against me. They say some kind of monster was responsible for the derailment on West Coast Highway. But given the timing of the upcoming referendum, I'm not so convinced this was just a random attack. It feels too convenient. Hey Eric, you don't need to talk. Just sit down and do a shot with me. You can't keep sleeping here, Sandra. Don't you have a home to go to? That's such a jerk, Eric. Eric's such a jerkface, isn't he? Trying to run poor little me out like this. But I do love a man that plays hard to get. Or do I? Listen up, I've got some big news. Guess who made Hostess of the Month? You're looking at her. Yes, I knew I could do it. #1 at last. I've been waiting for this moment for so long. Of course, now I'm going to have more sessions than ever. Making it to the top of the hill is one thing, but staying there would take my very best. Ah, detestable rain. It's driving away what few customers I have. I suppose it's time for the daily dusting anyway. Why don't you do an old woman a favor and clean that shelfware for me? We'll pass, thanks. That was a joke, boy. I wouldn't let anyone lay a single finger on my priciest antiques, much as a cop on your measly salary. The weather forecast for the afternoon is clear. If that stuff wasn't so forbiddenly expensive. One more day until Archon's Sears revival performance. Can hardly contain my excitement. This downpour is all that keeps me from bursting into flames. With any luck, I should be able to keep my cool. For now, it is. Another rainy day, huh? I better stay out of a basement archive so that no moisture sneaks its way in. I'd heard there have been some out-of-the-ordinary monsters appearing throughout Crossbell. They're said to be strikingly similar to the ones written about in the Church's testaments. What could be causing such phenomenon? If we had access to the knowledge left behind by the ancient Samurian civilization, I'm sure we'd have solved this mystery by now. No, I shouldn't tempt myself asking for the impossible. It'll only make me lose sight of what I can actually accomplish. I heard we're holding a public forum at the Civic Center today. The topic is state independence. It just reminds me of how close the referendum is. I need to decide which way I'm voting soon. Mommy, what does this word mean? Let's see. There's nothing quite like the ambient noise of a drizzly day. The pitter-patter of water hitting the pond, the umbrellas, the ground, each unique sound comes together like a little raindrop symphony. Hey guys, I heard the SS was working hard on the job yesterday. Finding more information on Ouroboros, getting to the bottom of the derailment. Seriously, way to go! I wouldn't be so quick to heap the praise on us. The people who were up until morning repairing the railway deserve far more credit than we do. Come on, don't be like that. You guys were doing overtime until late last night too, weren't you? Just don't forget to look after yourselves. Your health should be priority numero uno. Thank you for your concern, nurse friend. Hey, I like the sound of that, but for real, you're in for a tough shift too, so take some of your own medicine and don't overdo it. Don't worry, I won't. Looks like a few more support requests came in today as well. No pressure, but don't forget about them if you got the time. And I promise I won't overdo it in here while you guys are working hard out there. Thanks to the Guardian Force, the Transcontinental Railroad was able to resume service this morning. Luckily, they pulled it off before the first service of the day, so schedules didn't have to be modified. The CGF really is something, isn't it? This wouldn't have been possible without the Guardsman's perseverance. I see you brought me a data fragment. I have to deliver it to our forensics team. Go ahead. Part 3 of Information Terminal number 2 on Gnosis deciphered. If you find any other quartz fragments, come back and bring them to me. 2, 3, and 4 still missing. Comment notebook. Whoopee. 500 mirror and 1 U material. I just can't figure out how Walt Wales got his hands on Gnosis. If it wasn't through Ravage, then where the heck did it come from? So, Gnosis is back. We'll be looking into Ravage's old smuggling routes for any traces of it. Can't help but feel we're not going to find much. Anyway, there's no point in wrecking our noggins on doubts and reservations right now. All we can do is snuff out each possibility one by one. These kids have been a real pain in our behinds, but at least we're being cooperative for once. I hear Kate absolutely blew their eardrums out earlier too. Maybe she finally got through to them. Clearly we still have a long way to go as a state when it comes to enforcing laws against foreigners. Today's case is a big step forward though. There's no room for the police of all people to get disparaged by the situation. You all did an excellent job in the reckless driving case. Just leave these punks to us and we'll sort them out. Feel free to call us again the next time you need to make a joint operation. Seriously, we're gonna suspend our licenses? For a whole month even? You got to be kidding me! Guess we got a little carried away this time. The car's totally wrecked too. Maybe you ought to lay low for a while. We're currently holding a public forum on the state independence in the hall to the left. Feel free to attend if you're interested. The public forum is proceeding smoothly. I pray it stays that way. The last thing we need is an uproar at the civic center. Our current system is far too forgiving on foreigners, especially also Erebonia and Calvert. Worse still, we have no choice right now but to pay these countries 10% of our own tax revenue. How can any self-respecting cross-balance justify such a policy? These abuses will continue indefinitely if we refuse to stand up for ourselves. Is that what you want for our people? What utter nonsense. The grim truth is that independence simply isn't tenable in Crossbell's current situation. Suppose we are invaded by another country. How will the CGF defend us when they have not even a single tank at their disposal? Another country, what you mean, is the Erebonian Empire. We've all been keenly aware of the threat they pose since the day they installed those railway guns at Guerrilla Fortress, right in range of Crossbell City. If our state became independent, its abundant wealth could easily finance tanks, patrol ships, and anything else necessary for our security. The only question that remains is whether our people and leadership have the courage to do what must be done. Obstinate fools, wake up and accept reality. You're forgetting that Crossbell's prosperity is largely due to the mirror that flows in from Erebonia and Calvert. If we cut ties and declare independence, that well will dry up in an instant. Everyone, please settle down. The real issue at hand here is whether such a high-handed independence proposal will even be accepted by the international community. Isn't that something we've overlooked? The international community has nothing to do with this. Crossbell's independence is something that concerns us and us alone. It's our only hope of achieving justice. You're nothing more than a convenient mouthpiece for Calvert. What makes you think you have a voice in this? Well, yes, I'm a part of a Republican faction, so to speak. However, I can say with confidence that my love for Crossbell is as great as any citizen's. I demand an apology for this insult. Moraine ain't putting a damper on this shindig. They're going at it like animals over there. Yeah, there are way more citizens here than I'd expected too. It seems the young, up-and-coming independence faction is in a heated debate with their leading Imperial and Republican faction representatives. If it doesn't perfectly reflect Crossbell's current climate, I don't know what would. They all appear to be making sound arguments at the very least. This isn't a problem that's going to be solved so easily by words alone though. Moreover, these are the same points of contention that have been waging since the state was founded. Perhaps it's time something was done to put this discussion to rest. Agreed. Sovereignty with an uncertain future, or servitude without justice. My news service was busy trying to gather as much information as possible on yesterday's derailment. Now that I think about it, we've been forced to run more special issues than usual this year. Sadly, it's really been for good news. So much of our reportage has been focused on incidents and tragedies, frankly it's a little depressing. I wish we could run more positive specials like the one we did for the festival. So much of our reportage has been focused on incidents and tragedies, it's a little depressing. If it ain't my besties, pals, the SSS, I heard you all had a long busy night. Speaking of which, you got any leads on that vault kit? No, we don't. We paid Ignis a visit this morning only to come away empty-handed. Rats. That's okay, we got some leads of our own to try. Oh, and Vazi, don't beat yourself up too much over this, alright? I appreciate the concern. Man, though, that blue grass really sets off some alarm bells. If there's somebody out there other than Joachim who can produce that drag, we're all in for a bumpy ride. It's a good thing the derailment got sorted out before things turned too chaotic. I wish we knew where that kid could have gotten that drag though. Editing these articles always takes the wind out of me. Wouldn't be a problem if I was still 20, but I'm no spring chicken anymore. Growing old bites. And what's wrong with me? I'm still in my 30s. This is the prime of my life. Just can't waste it away complaining. Good morning, SSS. Hard at work, rain or shine, huh? I know what it's like. Lanfei tells me it should clear up by this afternoon, though. We'll just have to tough it out in the meantime. They've had me rushed off my feet since this morning. There's just too much going on right now. I have to remember to pace myself. When one stands to profit, another must stand to lose, such is the harsh reality of the market. Whatever rise, in the world of financial speculations, there are no absolutes. In other words, if you're looking to get into trading, you should only risk whatever funds you're willing to lose. Welcome to the IBC, SSS. I know being on duty in the rain can be rough going, but take care of yourselves out there and don't catch a cold. The more I use the Orbital network, the more fascinated I become. Corinna enjoys playing games on it, whereas I'm partial to the weather forecast feature. Nothing is guaranteed, of course, but they're surprisingly accurate. I make sure to check every day. It's such a hassle waiting for the rain just to make it work. Hopefully the growth of the Orbital net will lead to more jobs people can do from the comfort of their homes. That would have been perfect today. Looks like I might coming down with a cold. I know, I serve up a bowl for myself. My noodles are the best thing to get your body and soul warmed up, or even better, piping hot. I won't let Nikolai or Sully get the better of me. Not now, not ever. The rival performance is finally debuting tomorrow. Can't take it easy just because of a little rain. The letters on this letters are all smudged. Ah, stupid rain. Actually, I guess I can still get out. Sorta, kinda. It would be a huge waste of time to go back to headquarters and double check the address on all of these packages. Rainy are always such a pain. There's no such thing as endless rain or eternally clouded sky. Yeah, never mind. I was trying to string together a poem, but I've never been good with words. There's no such thing as endless rain or an eternally full stomach. Wow, even worse. People are saying a giant monster was spotted near the train accident yesterday. How terrifying. A train got hurt yesterday, right? That's super scary. Did someone push it over or something? Kind of, yeah. It's another rainy day in Crossville. It puts quite a little damper on my shopping plans. I suppose leftovers will have to do for dinner tonight. Are you sure you're not just looking for an excuse to get out of cooking, Mom? Sprinkle, sprinkle, there's nothing more calming than watering the plants. The sound of the rain is quite relaxing too. Today's a good day for rest and relaxation. It's been a long time since I last had a day off from work. It's a rainy one too. I plan to sit back, relax and enjoy it with my family. And we cleaned her face yesterday. The lady at the market stand said they do that before it's about to rain. I can't believe it came true. My wife and daughter came to town for a visit. They returned to Arbonia just this morning. Yesterday's derailment sent chills down my spine, so I'm thankful service is up and running again already. The silver lining to that horrible accident was that it gave me one more night with my wife and daughter. Listen to me, I've been so homesick. I gave some of the shoddy pinwheels I made at work to Mei Ling. Then she said she wanted to play with them outside. As you can see, she wouldn't take no for an answer. Walking around outside on a rainy day isn't my idea of fun though. Well, as long as Mei Ling's enjoying herself, I guess it's fine. Look at the spinny toy my big brother made. Spinny, spinny, sorry. Yesterday's derailment came as a dreadful shock. I'm glad they managed to get the tracks repaired so quickly. Yeah, the braces are looking for. In the Deolium? I hear Certain has been muttering to himself about unleashing some kind of secret weapon. What could he have been talking about? I'm just dying to know. It appears Certain as the ragtag band of minnows are accepting their defeat at last. They couldn't even flounder their way far enough to challenge me into a single duel. I suppose their so-called passion for fishing was a sham all along. Yesterday's derailment came as a dreadful shock. I'm glad we managed to get the tracks repaired so quickly. I think we have it already. You can never tell what might happen from one moment to the next these days. I have to warn Roy and Mei Ling to be extra careful when they go outside. They say that the mysterious monster was responsible for yesterday's derailment. I have to wonder if it's anything like the ones people have been spotting around the state. Dangerous incidents have been on the rise lately. You should be extra careful out there. A bracer came by this morning to ask a few questions. Apparently a couple of female bracers went missing recently. Just where did they run off to in the weather like this? Oh boy, I managed to save 10 mirror today. I can spend it on some ice cream on my way home. Or not, it's too cold out because of the rain. Oh, for crying out loud, I just finished plugging up a hole in the tent and already there's a new one. I wish Dins would get his head out of clouds and actually help me for a change. The guy who sells me vegetables was in a tizzy about something this morning. Apparently there was a huge commotion over in America Village yesterday. Sounds like it worked itself out in one way or another. I wonder what happened. I doubt I get many customers in weather like this. But that's okay, I gave Roy the day off, so I better pass the time making some new handicrafts to sell. My lack of experience in the kitchen yesterday gave me a real wake-up call. A painful one too. After talking things over with Puck, we agreed to go back to doing chores and give him all we've got. After all, if we aren't killing it at the most basic of tasks, how are we ever to expect to move up the ladder? Everything we're doing here is so that Puck and I can be successful business owners someday. If that means mastering the master's chores, then so be it. I took my son and left after getting into a fight with my husband. Once he found out where we were, he told us to call home. Is that what he calls an apology? I'm not budging till I hear some sincerity. I don't get it. Why isn't Daddy here yet? Well, that's just great. Another rainy day. I have to be careful out there. Driving in this weather can get pretty dangerous. Looks like the part-timers are putting more effort into their old chores than ever before. And here I always used to say that Puck and Roos were hopeless. There might be some promise in them yet. Just a little though. Looked like Puck and Roos finally realized how naive it was to ask for more work so soon. They're finally starting to show some promise. I enjoy when you have fewer customers on these rainy days. It gives me the time to prepare the next day's ingredients in one sitting. I thought if I had enough chutzpah, I could work through anything Master Fu does. Turns out that was pretty naive of me. But I get it now. I need to focus on contributing how I can instead of biting off more than I can chew. The last couple of days has been pretty hard on Roos and me. We need to learn to stop biting off more than we can chew. I say, you've been staying here in Long Lao since before the conference. Now, how do we find the food here? To your liking, I hope? Very, it's been a challenge not to overeat since I checked in. Sorry for calling you out here today, by the way. I feel like I should have been the one going to you. Please don't concern yourself over it. I rather enjoy my jaunts and strolls after all. That makes me feel a little better. Freelance journalists really do get around, don't they? By the way, Nielsen, you've been here in town since a few weeks before the conference, right? I can only assume you've been concerned about everything that's happening in your hometown? You would be right about that. I wanted to come and cover the event for myself. As a matter of fact, I plan on extending my stay here a little while longer. Oh, hello everyone. It's good to see you, Risha. Did you stop by to get some lunch? Yes, I did. I was just chatting with Shanshan here over some dessert. You guys are the police, right? You came right when the girl talk was heating up. Sorry to rain on your parade. I feel like I'm getting an exclusive look at the private life of an Archon-Ciel performer. Yeah, you never really know who a famous person might be friends with. Please, you're flattering me. I'm still only a rookie. If it went for Shanshan, I'd likely spend most of my days off sitting at home doing nothing. It helps if we are around the same age. Risha and I have gotten along since we met. And even with her proportions, it's always fun to stop for cute clothes with her. It's admittedly a little hard to find cute things that fit. I suppose it's true that very few people have Risha's proportions. A problem some would kill to have. I have to say though, you two really do seem like good friends. I suppose we are. I don't know what I'd do without Shanshan. I had to move often when I lived in Calvert due to my father's job. I had trouble making friends because of that, so I always felt a little bit of a loner. Yeah, I would have guessed. Don't you worry, Risha. Now with your besties, you're never going to get rid of me. Me and you will be together forever. I'll even get us matching tombstones. Thank you, Shanshan. It feels like a third wheeling pretty hard right now. You're right, let's leave those two to themselves. Sorry everyone, I didn't mean to make you feel left out. No, not at all, it's great catching up with you, Risha. We'll see you later. Okay, be seeing you. The SSS, Ilya, Archon-Ciel. Each and every bond I forged in the city is precious to me. You look pretty embarrassed when I said all that, Wisham. But I meant it, we're going to be best friends for life. Hello there, Mr. Gable. I've baked some cookies. You're welcome to have a few if you like. Hey, they're super duper good. Mommy makes them all by herself. You didn't really have to go all this trouble. I don't want it to seem like I gave you something just to get something back. Oh, please, don't worry about it one bit. All I'm doing is sharing our leftovers, the same as you. Very well, then. Oh, these are delicious. I told you. I'm glad you enjoyed them. I think Gable's finally settling into his life here at Lotus Heights. Wonderful development, I'd say. Of course, Risha isn't there. She is at the restaurant. But why is it raining all over me? Someone open the window or something? Oh, gonna have to piss pretty soon. Sure hope I don't wet my britches. That'd be bad. The cops? You're back already? You picked up a new lead while you were out playing in the mud? Wait, Vasi's with him too. You smug son of a... You got balls showing up here. It's your fault that Waltz... They're not in a friendly mood today. Perhaps you should have stayed away. Luganov, what are you... Hey, Vasi. Listen up, Vasi. We know what's going on. Walt, he's on that jacked up drug now too. Don't act like this has nothing to do with you. It's your goddamn fault in the first place. Lloyd, how much do I know? I specifically refrained from telling him about Walt's demonization. But we did mention that Walt was likely under the influence of Gnosis. If you hadn't shown up 2 years back, none of this would ever have happened. We could have been living it up the whole time. But now you just have to ride in downtown and screw it through all Gehenna, and now you're in bed with the damn cops just to get their sick kicks. Well, say something. It wasn't just for kicks. I chose this path because there was something important I needed to do. What happened to Walt as a result of that was an unforeseen consequence. Was he? So what, you think that self-righteous bullshit is gonna get you off the hook? I should have beat your ass! Huh? Why would you let me go? Because I just needed to let off some steam. Look, Vasi, we tried. We know we can't get through to him, but if anyone can, it's you. Way I see it, I deserve to suck that pretty boy face of yours, but instead of cashing that in, I want you to do us a solid. Smack some sense into Walt and wake him up. Luganov. Bro. So that's how it's going to be. Vasi? I can't make any promises, but I do everything in my power to bring him back to his senses. That should be enough to finally settle things as the founder of the Testaments. Jet and Luganov have been part of the Viper since the very beginning. They're probably even more worried about Walt than the rest of us. Hey, Jet and Luganov are awesome. Things may be messed up without Walt around, but I'm glad we still have them. And no one messes with Luganov, that's my boy right there. Man, Luganov's so freaking cool. Luganov's pretty much covered everything we wanted to say. There ain't anything else worth discussing, so go on, scram. You owe me one for not knocking you out, Vazzy. So keep your word or else. Oh, it's like the whole city's taking a shower or something. Maybe we should go steal a bar of soap when we can really make it a shower. Oh, the train got derailed yesterday. Supposedly some giant monster came along and gave it a mean whack. Sounds like balloony to me though. What kind of monster is strong enough to punch a train clean off a track? No way it was strong enough to punch it clean off a track. That's a lot of balloony, no matter how you spin it. Vazzy, we'll be continuing the search for information about Walt on our end. Yeah, we're going to scour the streets for leads once we're done laying out the game plan. Don't worry about us. You keep doing what you're doing with the SSS. Appreciate it, boys. I'm counting on you. But I heard there was a train derailment on West Coast Highway yesterday. So many people were injured. That's probably been insanely busy. Hopefully you can find out where Walt managed to get that gnosis from. What in the world is Walt thinking? Alcohol is one thing, but drugs? So word on the streets that Walt's on the same drug Dino took in the spring. Rival gang or not, I'm worried for the poor guy. You've got to be kidding, it's raining again? Can't all the rain just pour down at once so we can get it over with? Getting the good stuff in has been a pain in the ass ever since that mess at the train conference. Apparently Erebonian and Covered are putting the pressure on behind the scenes. It'd be nice if they quit busting my balls like this though. So, but I think we were everywhere in the city, right? Right? Then let's say for today, I actually forgot Orchis Tower. Oops. Oopsie. Well, that's a shame. The weather's so overcast that I can't see the top from here. We come all the way out here. Why did it have to rain today of all days? The railroad was fully repaired yesterday thanks to the CGF's tireless efforts. Just in time too. Today's rain could have delayed things even further. We have my respect for responding so quickly. It's no surprise that the number of visitors in the plaza is a lot lower on rainy days. Something about keeping watch over a big empty space like this makes my heart feel kind of heavy. Those cryptids don't seem to be responsible for yesterday's train derailment. Still, they worry me. Those monsters have been emerging with increasing frequency. I heard that mysterious blue plants have been sighted near the locations where they appeared too. What could that mean? Are accidents like these just going to keep cropping up? There's still so many things we don't understand. We can't even say for sure what cryptids won't show up in the city. The entire situation makes me uncomfortable if I'm being honest. We can't afford to let our guard down. A building this modern as impressive as this, the fact that it doubles as cost per city hall is the icing on the cake. Controversy about the independence proposal aside, I just might want to live here someday. The worst thing about rainy days is that you can't even go outside to get some fresh air during your break. This lobby isn't too bad though. I guess I just have to make do. The ceiling is so high on the ground floor, but it almost feels like I'm outside anyway. The Civic Center is holding a public forum about the faults and merits of state independence today. I believe they still have standing room open, so consider attending if you're interested. Nearly everyone that was forced to stay in town due to the train derailment was finally able to leave this morning. There's still the matter of reparations to settle, but I'm glad the repair effort got service up and running as quickly as I did. It's a relief that train service has been restored, and on such short notice too. I can imagine the compensation claims surrounding countries would have made the railway remain inoperable. We owe to the CGF for working hard all through the night to get things back up and running. Okay, but now I've been everywhere. Until next time then, I'm Mace and don't get lost.